Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Erica. And in today's video, I am bringing you episode 4, I'm pretty sure, of a new weekly series I'm doing here on my channel titled No Makeup and Chill, the Barefaced Chronicles. Now, you might be wondering why I would be doing a barefaced series on a makeup focused channel. Well, as I age, it's just becoming more and more important to me to love and to accept and to embrace my natural face. I do have some fine lines and wrinkles. I do have some texture. I have a little bit of crepey stuff going on my face, but I really just want to embrace it, you know? I don't want to rail against the aging process as much as I could do if I would let myself do that. And I don't really feel like I can encourage myself or anyone else to really embrace our natural faces if I can't sit here and film a video without any makeup on. Now, I want to say, if you choose to wear makeup 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, full coverage, the whole nine, that's totally your prerogative. It's totally your business. And I support you 120,000%. Whatever you want to do with makeup, you go for it. But again, it's just, I don't know, important for me to embrace my own face. And a lot of this too is just I'm getting a little bit lazier in my older age. And like I said, I just don't want to mess with all the stuff, fuss with all the stuff to put a makeup look together in a video. I just want these videos to be very relaxed, very chill. You know, kick back, kick your feet up, maybe have a drink or a snack, and let's chat about some really fun makeup products. Some of these videos, though, won't be focused on makeup. I have some other topics I want to talk about in this series. And I did think about pulling some of those topics into this episode, but I'm still kind of kicking some things around in my brain. Some of the things I want to talk about, I think, maybe are a little bit on the unpopular side. And I don't know. I just wanted to pull out some eyeshadow palettes and talk to you guys about them tonight. That just sounded like a lot of fun. Now, I have a very large eyeshadow palette collection. I have over 200 eyeshadow palettes. And I have gotten a little defensive, not a little, a lot defensive about that in the past, because I do watch videos sometimes where people are really negative about large collections. And I understand their viewpoint, but how I feel about it is it's no one else's business what someone else has in their makeup collection. Whether they have 3 things or 3,000 things, what difference could it possibly make? I am not going into anyone else's bank account to purchase this makeup. And I mentioned this at the beginning of my last eyeshadow palette collection and declutter videos. I was pretty defensive at the beginning, like kind of defending myself, defending my collection. And so many of my viewers and subscribers just totally supported me in the comment section. They're like, we love big collections. Embrace and love your own collection. We're here for it. Who cares what anybody else thinks? So I've let go of that. I mean, I just think it's so goofy that anyone would care what anyone else has in their makeup collection. Anyway, I have several rainbow palettes. And I want to talk to you guys about what I love about each one of these palettes. I've heard people say that if you have one rainbow palette, why would you need another one? Like it's, you know, superfluous. Such a hard word for me to say, or ridiculous, unnecessary. And I strongly disagree with that because all of the rainbow palettes I have in my collection, there's differences to all of them and they're unique in their own special way. So I'm just going to show them to you and talk to you guys about what I love about each one of my rainbow palettes. And of course, in the comment section, I would love to know if you guys have any of these palettes or what other rainbow palettes you happen to have in your collection. We can have a rainbow palette love fest in the comment section. Now, some of these palettes, I would say you might not think they're true rainbow palettes, and they may not be. But I think they're close enough to include in this video. And I am not ranking any of these. I was going to, like, I was thinking about, oh, I'll rank them all. And I thought, are you kidding? How are you gonna rank all of your rainbow palettes? I could do it. But I just thought, nah, I'm just gonna show them to you and talk to you about them. I already do 2 other ranking type videos on my channel. I rank my monthly palettes that I used the month before. And then I'm also doing my random ranking videos too. So I just felt like we got enough rankings going on here. All right, so let's start off with the first one here. This is the Zoe Matte Spectrum palette. This is an all matte palette, of course. that my dear friend and sister Steph sent to me from the UK. Now, upon first glance, you might think that doesn't really say rainbow to me. But if you really look at it, it's pretty rainbowy. It is missing some of the like traditional rainbow colors, I would say. I mean, there is a purple here, but it's kind of muted. All of these are kind of muted though, and that's what I like about it, is that it's a rainbow palette, but it's not overpowering, it's not super bright or intimidating. You know, I feel like if someone is just kind of wanting to get into colorful shadows, this might be a really good choice, because I don't think any of these shades are really that, you know, boom, bam, in your face, overpowering, overwhelming. And, you know, obviously not everyone likes an all matte palette, but you can pull in any shimmer with this palette if you don't want to do an all matte look. I mean, if you have another eyeshadow palette that has shimmers in it, you can pull it in with this. Or if you have single shimmers or an all shimmer palette, I love that. When I first got into makeup, I thought that was the dumbest concept, to have an all matte palette and an all shimmer palette. I'm like, nobody does that. Nobody does that. Yes, they do. And when I first started doing it, I just fell in love with it. I don't know why. It's just really fun. And I have been very impressed with how this palette performs. I haven't used all the shades in here, but I've used the majority of them. They're really nice. They're very pigmented and they're very blendable, very easy formula to manipulate. I would say also that the Zoe Matte formula is very good for aging eyelids, which, you know, I struggle with saying that sometimes, because I think at any age you should be able to use whatever kind of eyeshadow formula you want. But if you're being more conscious of that and you want an eyeshadow palette that's forgiving to older skin, I think this is a really nice eyeshadow palette for that. I have no idea if this is still available, but Zoe has a lot of really pretty palettes. I used to have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 Zoe palettes, and I decluttered them and gifted them to my friends because they just weren't getting a lot of love in my collection. But really nice eyeshadow brand for sure. Okay, the next one is the Ace Beauté Flare palette, and I think I got this in a BoxyCharm. Now, again, looking at this upon first glance, you might think, I don't see rainbow here, but there's reds, oranges, yellows, greens, blues, kind of purple, and then there's also some neutral options, which maybe that's not really rainbow. But I think, you know, across the board, don't you think this is pretty rainbowy? I do. The thing is though, this purple is pretty pinky purple, and this is called Aubergine, which I want to change my name to Aubergine. One of my dear subscribers, she said that aubergine is actually French for eggplant. And I said, well, you could call me Eggy for short. And there's no true yellow in here really either. I mean, this is gold, but it's a little more mustardy. I was thinking maybe if you put this and this shade together somehow, that might make it more yellow, but probably not. And, you know, this is more of a neon green, which I think is really cool. There's kind of some muted options in here as well. And I do like the fact that there's some neutrals in here too, because you can kind of, I don't know, grunge it up, earth it up a little bit. But I have really enjoyed playing with this. I think this is one of their older formulated palettes. I know that Ace Beauté went through like a reformulation of their palettes because people were complaining about the older formula. And I think this is older and I don't complain. I think it's really nice. I don't have a ton of experience with Ace Beauté palettes. I'd like to have a lot more experience with Ace Beauté palettes. I'd like to get very familiar with Ace Beauté palettes. But this is really fun to have, and I'm going to be pulling this into a Throwback Thursday video soon too. All right, so now let's talk about this beauty. This is the Suva Beauty Magic and Ecstasy palette. So there's, and then, yeah. And this just has some beautiful rainbow tones in here, and then a whole row, well, not this, but this whole row right here from here over is pressed glitters. And I have used this palette a few times and created looks with the pressed glitters, and they are stunning. And I know I keep saying, I'm gonna do a video with the pressed glitter so you guys can see how easy it is to put on your eyelids, and then do I ever do it? No, but I will. And I think I'm gonna pull this palette into that. I don't know, I have a few palettes that have some really pretty pressed glitters in them. But what I love about this is that the mattes have a corresponding pressed glitter shade. I think that's really cool. And the matte formula in here is impeccable. I don't know how easy it would be for maybe a beginner to manipulate it, because I remember when Steph gifted this to me, I didn't have a ton of experience, and it took me a hot minute to get these to work well. nothing wrong with the shadows. It's just my experience level was like, eek. Now that I have a little bit more experience, I know that I'll get along a lot better with this palette. And I've actually used it, oh, I don't know, within the last year I've used it. And this is my favorite pressed glitter in this palette because it's, you know, it looks green, but it's got a lot of beautiful other colors of reflex in here too. And I love the fact that there's a white matte in here. You know, you don't really see a lot of palettes with a white matte. And again, you know, you could have a darker purple in here, maybe a darker green in here, maybe a true red in here too. You know, that might make it even more rainbowy. But yeah, this is going to be really fun for me to finally pull out and use it again. I think I am going to pull this into my pressed glitter video at some point. I promise. I promise I'll do it, okay? Then we have this palette here. This is the Sample Beauty Hydrographic palette. Now, this is the last half of the rainbow, greens, blues, purples. But I just had to show this to you guys because I think this is such a lovely color story. I mean, even though it is just the green, blues, and purples, I love the tones, like the fact that you've got lighter to darker, you know, and it does have shimmers. This is a shimmer, this is a shimmer, and that is a shimmer. When I first opened it, I thought, why do they have two blues the exact same color, two purple? But no, it's shimmer and matte. And I love that. I've heard people complain about that. They're like, why would I want a blue shimmer and a blue matte that's the same color? Because it's different textures and it looks different on your lids. And it's fun, I think, but to each their own, right? But, you know, for the latter half of the rainbow, I think this is perfect. And this is a lovely palette. I've used it, I only think one time. I need to use it again. Steph gifted that to me. She also gifted me this one too. This is the Sample Beauty, the Immensity palette. And this is an all matte palette, right? Yeah, all mattes. And this is a true rainbow palette. And it's the, you know, just the basic rainbow colors, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple. Fun. And it's a lovely formulated palette. And again, you know, both of these palettes, let me hold this one up too. I don't know that these are the greatest for beginners either. You know what I mean? Because it's there's a lot of pigmentation here. You know, these shades aren't really ones that you apply and just blend the crap out of. You kind of have to like pack it on and then like barely blend. That's something I'm trying to get better at doing because I tend to just go in with the, you know, windshield wiper motions or the circular da, da, da. And I'm like, well, wait, whoa. Maybe I should just kind of pack it and barely blend out the edge. You know, I mean, I am not a professional makeup artist. I never will be, of course not. And you know, there's still tons I have to learn. I mean, I think we could all continue to learn things. You know, I do. But I will say that in terms of rainbow palettes, even though this is all matte, I think it's stunning. I love it. Love it. Now I'm going to show you a couple palettes from You Can Be, which is a brand that I really enjoy, and I don't hear anybody talking about this brand. And, you know, honestly, I don't really talk about them a whole lot either, or use their palettes on my channel, so I'm not going to sit here and complain that people don't talk about them enough, even though I kind of was. I just wish they would, because they're very affordable palettes, and I think they work really well. So this is the Fruit Punch palette from You Can Be. If I can get rid of the glare from my lights. And I'm pretty sure I got this off the Temu site in some PR, which I used to get PR from Temu, and I just don't do that anymore. There's nothing wrong with Temu, okay? This is not a Temu bashing video. And I really enjoyed getting PR from them, but they just had some kind of weird tactics, a little shady. I felt a little bit manipulated by them, just, well, more than a little bit. So I just was like, no, thank you. Someone else can accept your PR. I will not be doing that anymore. Anyway, this is a lovely rainbow palette, and it's got all the rainbow options in here. All the colors are represented. It's only got the one shimmer in here, so that might not be everybody's fave, but I do really like it. I've only used it, I think, twice, but really enjoyed the shadows that I put together. I did a look where I used this shade, and this shade, like stripes on my eyelids, and that was not the easiest look for me to like or get used to. I put pictures up on Instagram, and people were like, oh, I love it, I love it, I love it. I got a lot of likes, I remember, at least for my page anyway. And when I went to work, I got a lot of compliments, but I just was like, did I really do this? Did I really put these three colors together on my eyelids? But it was really fun, and I really want to do it again. You know, just, this is a really fun palette to play with and experiment with because you got all these fun options. You know, just go for it. Have fun. The other one I have is the Mint Candy palette. Yeah. And this is a rainbow palette, but it's more, it's pastels. So, but I think it's got all the colors represented in the rainbow. They're just lighter. That's it. And is this all mattes? Yeah, all mattes. Who'd have thunk? Someone that thought all matte palettes were ridiculous has several now. But this is really nice. And I think too, perfect companion palettes. Perfect companion palettes, these two. That's something I want to talk about, is like definitions of certain things I hear people say, and I'm like, no. And I just don't know how well it's going to fly here, but I'm still kicking some things around. We'll see. The next one I'm going to show you is the Artitude Cosmetics Color Splash palette. And this is a UK indie brand that Steph is a brand ambassador for. And Marina, Make by Marina, she sent me this palette. I think she had one and then got this one. So she felt like she didn't need two of them in her collection. So she sent this to me. And this palette has thoroughly impressed me. It is beautiful. It doesn't have a true red in here, I wouldn't say. I mean, this is close, but it's pretty orangey. So, it's missing the true red. But I like the fact that there's a black and a brown, this beautiful white shimmer, and a tan too. So you've got some neutral options in here. But I have just loved playing with this. I think, let's see, I've done a collab with Steph and Marina. And I think, did I do another collab with them too? Or maybe just, yeah, we did another collab with this as well. This is just a really fun, bright, vibrant palette to put looks together with. And you could go monochromatic with this, or you can mix and match the shades. And I like the shimmer to matte ratio. And this is a lovely brand. They have some beautiful eyeshadow palettes. This is the only palette I have from this brand, but they have some that I have to force myself to stay off their site, because they have lots of other stuff too. These cake it liners and lippies. And I'm like, I want it all. Now I'm going to show you one that has become one of my favorite palettes in my collection, like a true staple in my collection. And this is the Certify the Tropical Wonders palette. And Steph gifted this to me as well. And it's got all the rainbow tones in here, baby. All of them. All matte palette. But I'm telling you, this formula of mattes is superb. There is not one negative thing I could say about the mattes in here. All of them are nicely pigmented, but not in a way that like intimidate me. They blend really well. They work together really well. Even this darker purple sometimes can be a little bit tricky in that they can be kind of patchy when you apply them to your lids. It's not just purples. I think a lot of times darker colors can just be patchy, but for some reason, in my experience anyway, and other people I've seen, purples seem to just sometimes be a little bit more tricky. And this Starling shade is absolutely stellar. Not patchy, it's blendable, it works well with the other shades that I've used it with. And I have used this multiple times on my channel, creating looks with like single shimmers or all shimmer palettes, and I love it. And I did see that Certify still has a website up, but I have no idea what they're selling on that website because I didn't go that far. I just wanted to link their website in my description box to one of my last videos. And I thought, oh, I'll come back to it. I never went back to it. Now, let's talk about the Glam Light Cake palette. Look how the lights are so freaking glary. Look how cute this is. It looks like it's in a little oven. And then you open it up. And here's the cake inside. But you can't eat it unless you want your stomach pumped. I'm surprised I've never tried to eat this. Okay, I'm not that bonkers. Okay, this is a gorgeous rainbow palette, but I would say that maybe it's missing like a dark green. I mean, this is purple, but I think it's kind of more of like a wine purple. Is there, yeah, there's a red in there, but reds pull pretty pink on me, which is kind of annoying. And oranges can too sometimes. But all in all, I think this is stunning. Well, and there's not really like a deep blue in here really either. They're kind of more purpley blue or aqua blues. But Kimmy, hanging out with Kim, she gifted this to me. Blew my mind that she gifted this to me. And I love it. I think it's so pretty. It's so fun. I've created some beautiful looks with this. I've seen other people create beautiful looks with this. And it's just got some awesome options. Like I said, it could have maybe more, make it more rainbowy. But I think it's pretty damn good, but just like that. Now let's talk about the Fade into Hue palette from Colourpop that I have only used once. I got this in a mega palette sale off the Colourpop website, and I had planned to just like do a 5 looks video with it immediately, and it was sitting on that shelf for months, and I finally pulled it into a Throwback Thursday video. And I will say that this shade here, a little dusty, not as pigmented, or, well, it was blendable, I guess. It was just kind of dusty. There was a ton of kick up in the pan, which really, it does not bother me that much. I mean, they're pressed powders. They're going to kick up in the pan. But just more than what I see in a lot of my other eyeshadow palettes, I would say. And there are 3 large chunk pressed glitters. This one, and that one. And those make me nervous because I've got them in my eye before and it hurt like hell. I was like, oh no. So I don't know that I'll ever use those shades. But this one's kind of a pressed glitter and it's pretty finely milled. So, you know, maybe I could use that. That kind of looks the same, maybe. I don't know. Well, I've only used like 4 shades out of this palette. And this will be coming in a multiple looks video for sure, because I want to give the rest of the shades a chance. And what I really like about this particular palette, and the reason why I got it, is because you have the darker tones and the lighter tones. So you can, you know, blend darker shades out with the lighter shades, which I love to do that. Love it. It's really fun. I think it makes the look a lot nicer. Gives you that beautiful gradient. Yeah, I love it. And this is a really awesome shimmer to matte ratio, I would say. So this will be coming in a multiple looks video. It will, I promise, because, you know, it's dumb to use it once and be like, I don't like the palette. How do you know if you don't like the palette? Now let's talk about the Big Daddy. Be Perfect Cosmetics, Carnival 3, Love Tahiti, Stacey Marie, Boop Papa. I'm like, did you have to name it that long of a title? Apparently they did. The Be Perfect agents, managers, owners did not, CEOs, CFOs, OPP, PP poop, did not call me and ask me what I thought of the title of this palette. Okay, focus, Erica, focus. Now, it's weird to me because when I open this up, every time I think, oh, it doesn't have any blues in it. I wish they'd put some blues in it. Hello, there's 2 blues right here. I do kind of feel like, though, that it's, I wouldn't say it's neutral heavy. I don't know that you needed both of these rows of neutrals, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think they could have just stuck with one or the other and maybe put some more blues in. Yellows, put some more yellow. Yeah, is it missing a yellow? It's missing yellow. That's what it's missing, yellows. So yeah, I really feel like they could have, or maybe not taken the whole row out, but just taken a few of these shades out. Like these 2 are pretty similar. These 2 are similar. Those 2, you know what I mean? Like I think they could have done away with some of the more similar shades and put some yellows. What else? Yeah, I mean, that's it really. But I am telling you right now, you guys, this is one of the best formulated palettes I have ever used in my entire life. Ever. And I cannot wait to pull this out and do a multiple looks video with it. Definitely. I've done a couple collabs with this, and I've used it like on my own, like off my channel before. Or, yeah, just, I don't know. I don't always want to film every single makeup look that I do, right? I mean, that just gets to be a little much. I don't know. That's just not my personal, like, yeah, I want to film every single look I do. Like, sometimes it's just fun to sit down and have it quiet, not talk, not do anything, just put my makeup on, you know? Sorry, I get so off on other tangents. But if this is still available and you're wanting a stellar rainbow palette without the yellows, damn it, I would get this. I really would. Because, I mean, I recommend this palette often to people who ask me about a rainbow palette. I just wish it had some yellows in it. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you guys about the P. Louise Watch the Queen Conquer palette. Now, this is also missing some colors in it, too. Opens up, and you have this cute little chessboard with hearts on it. Now, this side is beautiful. It's got purples, pinks, and, like, corals, kind of peachy shades, and the shimmers look like they're going to blind you. But it's lovely. It's formulated so well. This was my favorite palette for quite some time until Steph's palette came into my life. This was my favorite palette because of the formulation and the color story. And yes, it's bulky. It's obnoxious. It is. It's a bulky, obnoxious palette, but I don't care. It's really fun with all these tones. And then if you flip it over to this side, we've got These beauties, oh, the glare is so horrible. Now this is missing true greens and it's missing blues. And that kind of stinks. But I mean, there's tons of shades in here and it's beautiful. I do think that, again, there's some kind of maybe like repeat shades on, I mean, I could, you know, if I really looked, I mean, yeah, there are some repeat shades on both sides, but they could have put blues, but they didn't want to. They didn't want to do that. And maybe this is not the right palette to pull into this series, but I'm doing it anyway. I already did it. Now, the last one here, I do believe is my favorite rainbow palette. And this is the Beauty Bay Bright palette. And this is a 42 pan palette. It's Enormo, and it's got all of the rainbow options. This really does have all the rainbow options. Totally. And I love it. Yes, there are some similar shades. I don't care. Who cares? It's still fun. It's still really fun. Great. Well, okay, hold on. Before I start saying it's great shimmer to matte ratio. Yeah, I guess it is. Yeah, I mean, there's a decent amount of shimmers, decent amount of mattes, maybe more mattes than shimmers, which that's typical for most palettes, I would say. But I have had so much fun playing with this. I've done like, I think, have I collabed with it? I don't know if I've collabed with it, but I've done like a palette bingo with it before. I've never done a multiple looks video with it though, so that's coming. I am just obsessed with multiple looks videos right now. I don't know why, I just am. Like, I just want to, like, if I could get away with it and not do, well, I could get away with it and not do any other kind of content, I would just focus solely on multiple looks videos. But I want to do other stuff too, because I want to keep it fun and exciting and cool. But that is truly, I think, in this moment, my favorite rainbow palette. I fluctuate between that one and the Be Perfect, because it's different formulas and different tones in each, but oh, so fun. So let me know what you guys think of my rainbow palettes. Let me know if you have any of these palettes, and also let me know what you have in your collection that is a rainbow palette that you just love. And also let me know, out of the palettes that I showed you, if there's a particular rainbow palette that you're not a big fan of. We can chat about that too, because I'm still trying to get into the fade into hue. But one use, that's asinine. That's not enough to decide whether I like or don't like a palette. So of course, the next episode of No Makeup and Chill, the Barefaced Chronicles, will be coming next week, so stay tuned. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your lives to sit down and watch this video. If you're new here and you enjoyed what you saw, please consider subscribing, smash the like button, and of course, comment down below in the comment section. I'd love to chat with you guys there. If you've been here before, thank you so much for coming back. I cannot wait to see you guys again in my next video. But in the meantime, take very good care of yourself. Be well, safe, happy, and yes, I will see you soon. Bye.
Drop it.